What's up guys, TechTine here, and I am back again with a brand new video. So before I begin this video, I want to give you guys my appreciation by thanking you all so much for watching my content. The support on my previous video about the OnePlus Nord N200 is incredible, so I want to thank you all so much for the support. I really mean it. This makes a big difference in my content creation, so thank you. And real quick also, before I start the video, I want to give a shout out to Ghost Tech, the case manufacturer. They make some high quality cases, so if you're interested, check them out. The link will be in the description. They have different types of cases that pretty much fits anyone's needs. So I'll leave them linked in the description below. Check them out. They didn't really pay me or anything like that. They just create quality cases in my opinion. So now let's jump into today's content. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the camera on the Samsung Galaxy A32 5G. So the A32 5G has a quad camera set up with the following specs. So the specs of the quad camera are the following. So you have a 64 megapixel sensor at f1.8 aperture, and you also have an ultra wide at 123 degrees, and it is an 8 megapixel sensor at f2.2. You also have a 5 megapixel macro at f2.4 and a 5 megapixel depth sensor at f2.4, and this camera can shoot up to 1080p at 30 frames per second. Now your selfie camera is actually a 20 megapixel sensor at f2.2 and can also shoot 1080p at 30 frames per second. And the Samsung camera app in general is just what you expect from Samsung. It's quick, simple to use, just snap and shoot, and you can take some, and you have a lot of settings to play with and mess around with. You can switch between your standard and your wide angle lens, and you just have a lot of things that you can mess around with, change the ratio, your timer, your settings, where you can change the resolution and things like that. And overall, the experience when taking pictures of this phone is pretty good. I mean, it lines up with pretty much any Samsung phone that is out right now. Like I said, it's simple, quick to use, take your phone out, snap and shoot. Now let's talk about picture quality, because I know that's why you guys are here. So the main sensor's picture quality is decent. The colors are a bit washed at times. It's a hit or miss. It tends to overexpose the picture also quite a bit. So for example, let's look at this first picture. So the grass here is a little bit washed. It's not as saturated as you would expect from Samsung, and that's with the high dynamic range turned off too. So it did a pretty good job also showing the sky and showing the different content in the picture itself. So this picture is a prime example of why this phone tends to overexpose. So as you guys can see, the pipes themselves are just bright. I wish they were just a little bit dimmed down. So if you were taking, this is pretty much automatic mode, so I just pulled the phone out, tap to focus, snap and shoot. So it did overexpose it, and my advice is that when you're taking pictures of something in bright daylight, just try to tone down the exposure just a little bit. That way your pictures come out to be a little bit better exposed. Now, next picture, I want to test out the HDR. So basically, I'm impressed of HDR in budget phones lately in general. So in the first picture, you guys saw that the grass and the color green in general was just dimmed down. So when I turned on HDR, it did bring out the saturation and made the colors pop a little bit more. And also the skies are blue. You can see they have detail. They're not really overblown or anything like that, so it definitely gets a thumbs up from me in there. And the colors in general, so for example this picture, which is just a picture of a towel, the blues are blue, they're nice, and that's pretty much an indoor picture, so it does a pretty good job there. And in the next picture, I really want to test out the focus in general. So the focus on here, it's not the best thing in the world. It's pretty okay. I guess the macro sensor and the depth sensor do play a role in it. So you can see that it kind of missed focus on the bottle itself, but overall a pretty decent picture. Now next up, I want to talk about the selfie camera. So the selfie camera was actually a bit impressive. So the 20 megapixel sensor did its job, and it does have this kind of depth sensor working with it. So it's electronic depth sensor. It's not really built into the lens or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, the background is just blurred out, near perfect, and the picture itself, the facial, the face, the hand gesture, the shirt, I mean, they're just they look nice. They look really good. Not a whole lot of beauty mode effect taking place, and yeah, that's kind of impressive to me. Now, as far as the video goes, it's pretty decent. The exposure just goes in and out here and there, and it's okay. It's not the best thing in the world. It does a decent job in also focusing when you're bringing the object close. So there's that for you. And yeah, overall gets a thumbs up from me also in the video department. So as a package, this camera does a pretty good job in pretty much most situations. The only situation that it will do bad in is low light, and the cons of the camera in general is that it tends to overexpose a little bit. And when you turn on HDR, you will get your saturation back. You will get your you'll just get a better picture overall. The focus is okay. It's not the best thing in the world. However, the selfie camera is impressive, and the overall experience is pretty good. I'm judging this phone as a budget phone, right? Not as a flagship device, not a $1,000 device or above. So keep that in mind also. And yeah, with that being said, I want to thank you all so much for watching this one. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed, check out previous videos, more content coming soon. So yeah, stay tuned. Thank you all so much for watching.